Hey kids, Mr. Glenn here. Hope you are well. Now, the last time that I saw you, it's quite a long little clip, but it just showed you about the materials and how different objects, if they've got an overhang, then they're going to be filled with supports. If the support's on the outside and it's something that's hanging over the edge, then sure, we can probably sort of print it and take off the supports. If it's got a very long covering, like that solar panel that I had, most of that is going to be support, like we saw in green. Now, if you have objects and components, you have to break them apart. Okay. Now, some people will have sort of pillars that look like this, and there'll be sort of one shape and there'll be one component. Okay, that looks like that. What you're going to have to do is use the shape here. From the original, and so if we just go and stop selecting these. This is the original shape. Okay, this is what you want. Okay, it's part of your build, but we need to go and make a duplicate of this. You need to go and ungroup it, make a duplicate, keep this as the original, and make this into a hole. So then you can put a hole in here into your material, into your base or whatever it is you're building, the roof and other things. But this can only be for sort of 4 at the absolute outside, because again you're going to have supports on everything. And let's go and bring that through into my object here. I'm going to join those together. So I'm using the entire shape of the original object, making sure that this is completely aligned so that it's nice and centered. It takes 2 seconds to do that. Join them together. Now that piece there is ready to accept that there, because now you've got this piece here and the separate base, and they can be printed in 2 different pieces, which means that we can end up with something like this. Now we can have something like this, and of course normally if we try to print this and it had other pieces inside it, we would naturally have to print it upside down. More often than not, students have many objects inside here, and it makes it almost impossible to print with a good level of support and for it not to be ruined by the supports. So what we have to do is the same as before. I'll show you what it looks like in a second. We have to separate out the pieces, and then we have to go and duplicate these as the original pieces and turn them into holes, because we have to keep the original shape. So this is all solid now as an original shape, keeping all the sizes, dimensions, everything else like that. And I can go and very quickly just pull this into here, and I know that these are going to fit perfectly. I know they're going to fit together. So I'll just make that a little bit taller. I'm going to bring that together, just pop it into the shape itself, making sure I haven't gone all the way through the shape itself. Join them together. Now I have the holes, and I have 2 components that I can go and print nicely, and I know that anything that's attached to this I can print with it facing up, and then anything that's attached on this, the base, we can print it upside down into pieces, and then we can slot them together later on, because that will now print like this, and it will look like this, and it'll print like that. So we'll have the 2 separate pieces, the 3 separate pieces, or whatever's going to be attached in here. It's going to slot into here, because we've used this piece here on the left hand side, and we've used it as the main shape to be the hollows and the holes for this over here. So that's what we've got to go and do. As always, good luck.